Hi, I wanted to go over some energy balance and obesity kind of hot topics. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do it in 5 minutes. I'm not sure if that's possible, but to break these down in more sizable chunks for students in classes, the public at large, whatever, because for these kind of obesity, energy balance topics, hot topics, they're fairly common, and so they'll come up in classes and they'll come up in probably news feeds, social media feeds, whatever, and people may get confused on things, and this goes back to the whole issue of who do you trust. So my stance is don't trust me. I'm giving you information. Don't trust other influencers, even physicians. So when it comes to these types of things, and when it comes to theories and kind of stances, I think your trust of a physician should be between you and your clinician, healthcare provider, when you're getting care treated, not when a healthcare provider is talking to a large audience and not an individual person. I don't want to get involved in care of a person, but the flip side is a physician, even if it's your physician, I don't want them telling me what to do without me giving them and seeking their input for my care. And so it's your care, your decisions, your healthcare decisions are between you and your healthcare provider, your healthcare team, and mine are with mine. And this mode of conveying information is to kind of help educate everybody that's kind of involved. So anyway, we'll start with the carbohydrate insulin model. And I'm not sure if it's still a hot topic per se, because I know some people who were promoting it have stopped promoting it. So it may be it may be going out. And there's also, we'll get to this later in other videos, NOVA classification system, obesogens, and other toxins, food colorings, for example, are kind of taking the place of this model. So just FYI. So the carnivore keto, low carb folks say it's different from calories in, calories out. So these two, CIM and energy balance, tend to, in the social media realm, be referred to as CIM and CICO. I have issues with CICO just from the standpoint of people don't understand what it means, and so that's kind of a problem because there's some operational definitions, and calories in is not the amount of calories that are on the label and the amount of calories that are put in the mouth. From a metabolic perspective, from a health outcomes perspective, that does not explain what happens. It makes it look, when people say calories in, calories out, or calorie counting, that's oversimplifying energy balance and oversimplifying CICO. It's if you want to say, it's a way to track food intake, but kind of my caloric intake is going to lead to differences within me versus the same caloric intake in somebody else. And so these are individual, there's more context. And so on that, so those who have promoted carnivore, keto, low carb, Atkins, etc., wanted to come up with their own way to explain the obesity epidemic, why people get obese, etc. So 15, 20, 30 years ago, kind of around the Atkins craze, there was a push for low carb Atkins, and people, it was at that time, low carb was looked down upon by most within the healthcare community. Scientists, I think, at that time, who actually did the science in this area, were okay, whatever, that's okay. Low carb Atkins, all right, fine. Use whatever you need to use. I did a 2-week study on this way back when. This was 2005 maybe. And one of my master's students, Chad Cook, kind of led it. And so this was back when there was some pushback within the healthcare community. So the people who, Gary Taubes, a whole host of people tried to come up with their own way to really focus on the insulin and the carbohydrate part. That was what they thought was the primary issue. If you dealt with the carbohydrate and insulin model, you wouldn't be obese, because that falls into the, if this is true, then that falls into their sales pitch and profit model to make money off of the concept. They can't really make money off of a calories in, calories out model, because you can't, it's one, oh, that's just too, it's kind of Weight Watchers is kind of the issue with that. But with this, the carbohydrate insulin model, most non-low carbers that are low carb first, low carb only, I guess low carb only, see carbohydrate insulin model as a version of energy balance or CICO. So let's get into why. So the published papers are basically in this realm are by Kevin Hall's group out of the NIH, and David Ludwig's group, or collaborators, who all have a low carb bias. You may know Dr. Lustig. He's anti-sugar, and people kind of understand that his approach is flawed. So I have a video for that elsewhere. So in order to get a plausible theory, the folks who came up with this carbohydrate insulin model had to have a distinction. What doesn't the CICO or energy balance model do? And so they made this visual, this figure, to kind of help illustrate. There's more, but this is one of several that's been kind of generated. And they say, they say, not me, this is not me, I'm not this, we'll get to another theory here in a minute, that the energy balance model is more just brain food reward. You change energy, that leads to increasing circulating levels, then adipose tissue and fat storage goes up, and the drivers, energy dense, ultra processed foods, high in portion size, fat and sugar, low in protein fiber, so I'll shut up for now on that. And then the carbohydrate insulin, how they view this is their model is different, is the primary driver is high glycemic load, high sugar, main mediators, insulin to glucagon ratio, and then, oh, look, GLP-1, that's a new buzzword, new hormone thing. It's not new, but a way to better sell there. Look, we're dealing with the GLP-1, which is also the hot topic from a medicine's perspective. So that's the primary driver. Adipose tissue and fat storage increase. This decreases circulating fuels, and then this leads to increased energy intake. So that's kind of the distinction. So I don't want to say it's better. I mean, it's better than what they had. But one of the things that the CIM folks omit or try to own that has been present within energy balance metabolism theory since I've been studying it in 1995. And we did our first postprandial metabolism, post-meal studies here at K-State, and elsewhere I used Tom Thomas's model from the University of Missouri, Columbia. Brought it here to K-State. But it's more than just food intake and appetite. The food leads to increasing circulating fuels. So there's insulin and other hormones like GLP-1, like glucagon, that affect lipolysis, adiposity, energy supply to the tissues, and then energy expenditure plays a role in the energy balance model. And so it's more than just high high sugar foods, ultra processed foods at high doses, and that's what leads to fat gain. And so one of the other aspects of energy balance in CICO is you can lose weight too. This explains weight loss and weight gain. The carbohydrate insulin model only explains weight gain. And it's a limited view, and it fits. The carbohydrate insulin model fits within this framework. That's where they've tried to separate, but that you can't separate. And so this is where it's always, and for those that know, I did the Twinkie diet, or that's what it's called. I don't like the term, but so be it. I was not a media person. I don't know if I am now or not, but it was made for me. And so the issue is, it says low in protein. From an energy balance perspective, it doesn't matter what the micronutrients are, macronutrients are, or the macronutrients are. It could be high in protein. It could be low in fat. It could be low in sugar. It could be low in carbohydrate. It could be high in carbohydrate. It could be high in fat. It's the energy. That energy will dictate the changes of insulin. And so amino acids elicit an insulin response. The energy in carbohydrates elicit an insulin response. They can be different. One of the things that the carbohydrate insulin model proponents fail to accept is that calories in carbohydrate elicit a different it's not the calories, because it's the chemical structure of carbohydrates elicit a different response than the chemical structures of fats and proteins. The calories within them are the same. It's like running uphill versus running downhill. Let's say you run a kilometer. Is the kilometer the same? Yes. Is less energy expended running downhill than uphill? Yes. But the distance is the same. And so it's a unit of measure. And it's anyway. I'll end that here, but this is just to kind of get at some of the root issues between what you may hear in social media from certain people. I'm just asking you to treat things the same, to try to best understand these things for you, so that you don't have to, well, so-and-so said. If you understand these things well, doesn't matter what they say. This is how I see how food environment, physical activity, energy expenditure, ATP, bioenergetics, all that stuff affects body composition, metabolic health outcomes, etc. So with that, I will end it, and thank you. And if there's any of this that you like and you want to hear more of, please subscribe. There's going to be more content like this. My students will get this obviously with their enrollment, and they'll get more, and they have more. I have a lot of unlisted videos that they get that you don't get. So anyway, thank you, and have a great day and a great life. Be well.